Imagine this. One of the greatest minds of the 20th century saw something coming. He warned us, decades ago, about a danger far more insidious than any war or economic collapse. A danger that grows silently, within us. That mind was Carl Jung, a pioneer of psychology, a man who explored the deepest layers of the human psyche. And yet, few listened. Today, we're diving deep into the chilling warning Jung gave to the world, why it was ignored, and how it's playing out right now, in real time. But before we go further, take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment below, "I'm ready to face the truth." That simple act helps this message reach others who need it. Now, let's begin with the shadow Jung tried to make us see. Jung's warning wasn't about politics, technology, or economics. It was something far more dangerous, the human psyche itself. He believed that the real threat to humanity is not outside of us, it's inside, in what he called the collective shadow. According to Jung, every time we suppress or deny parts of ourselves, our anger, envy, greed, or desire for control, those traits don't disappear. They sink deep into the unconscious, both individually and collectively. Over time, that repressed energy builds up, like steam in a sealed container, and eventually, it explodes, not just through individuals, but through entire societies. This, Jung warned, is what leads to mass hysteria, wars, extremist movements, and cultural breakdowns. We blame others, we project, but we fail to realize the monster is within. Why did so few people listen to Jung's warning? Because what he said demanded something uncomfortable, personal responsibility. It's easier to point fingers at others than to admit that the seeds of destruction live inside each of us. Jung explained that projection, the act of seeing in others what we refuse to see in ourselves, is the root of much of our suffering. We demonize entire groups, political opponents, or people with different beliefs, without realizing we are battling our own shadow in disguise. And the more we avoid looking inward, the more that shadow takes over, both individually and globally. Jung believed this refusal to face our inner darkness is what allows tyrants to rise, wars to erupt, and civilizations to collapse. When a society suppresses too much for too long, it breaks. Jung didn't just diagnose the problem. He offered a path forward, a way to prevent the collapse. He called it individuation. Now, that might sound like a fancy psychological term, but its meaning is profound. Individuation is the journey of becoming whole, of integrating all parts of yourself, the good, the bad, the hidden, the ignored. It's not about becoming perfect, it's about becoming real. Jung believed that only when individuals take responsibility for their own unconscious minds can we begin to heal the collective. He famously said, "No tree, it is said, can grow to heaven unless its roots reach down to hell." In other words, you cannot evolve spiritually, emotionally, or psychologically unless you first confront your own darkness. So what does all this have to do with today? Everything. Look around. We are living in a time of extreme polarization, rage, division, mistrust, not just in politics, but in our communities, families, even online spaces. And Jung would argue that this is the collective shadow at work. We're not just disagreeing, we're projecting. We're seeing our own darkness in others and waging war against it. Social media has become a mirror for the shadow, amplifying outrage, feeding the ego, and deepening division. And the danger? If we don't become aware of it, if we keep blaming them, whoever they are, the shadow grows stronger. And history has shown us what happens when collective shadow runs unchecked. But there's still hope. Jung's warning wasn't meant to terrify, it was meant to awaken. He wasn't predicting doom, he was offering a choice. Face your inner world or be ruled by it. And that's where you come in. Right now, you have a decision to make. You can keep scrolling, keep projecting, keep pretending your darkness doesn't exist, or you can begin the work of integration. Ask yourself, what am I avoiding? What triggers me and why? What part of me am I most afraid to confront? These questions are the doorway to freedom. And once you walk through that door, you stop feeding the shadow. you start transforming it. You see, Jung believed the unconscious isn't evil, it's unknown. And what is unknown, we fear. But the moment you shine light on your shadow, it starts to lose its power. The things that once controlled you, anger, shame, jealousy, become tools for transformation. They stop being monsters and start becoming messengers. That's the power Jung wanted us to tap into. Not to become flawless human beings, but integrated ones. And through that integration, we heal not just ourselves, but the world around us. Because as each person becomes conscious, the collective begins to shift, one individual at a time. That's the revolution Jung saw coming, a revolution from the inside out. So what now? How do you begin? You don't need a therapist or a spiritual retreat. You just need honesty, radical, ruthless honesty with yourself. Start by journaling your thoughts. Observe your reactions. Meditate. Confront your own hypocrisy. Watch your own projections. The moment you catch yourself blaming someone else, pause. Ask, what part of me am I avoiding right now? That single habit can change your life. Jung wasn't a prophet, he was a psychologist. But what he saw in the depths of the human mind was nothing short of prophetic. And if we don't heed his warning, we'll continue down the same path humanity has walked for centuries. Denial, destruction, repeat. But if we do listen, if we take the challenge seriously, something incredible happens. The world begins to feel less chaotic. Not because everything outside changes, but because your perception does. When you stop projecting your inner war onto others, peace becomes possible. Not easy, but possible. That's what Jung meant when he said, "Who looks outside, dreams. Who looks inside, awakens." It's time to awaken. If you've made it this far in the video, you're already ahead of most. And that means something. It means you're ready. So don't stop here. Share this message, like this video, subscribe to the channel for more deep dives like this, and leave a comment below. I choose to face my shadow, because the first step to healing the world is healing yourself. Carl Jung warned us. Few listened. But maybe now, finally, someone will.